Okay, so let's talk about this. Believe it's 1998 Honda Z. I'll correct it if it's wrong. I'm making the video here at the port before it gets shipped off to whoever is interested in this vehicle. This is a kind of the 360 portion of the video where we kind of just show the whole car in 360 as I talk about it, and then I'll go more into depth as far as the vehicle itself goes, and I'll show you a little bit more about it. Overall, it's in pretty great shape. Nothing really to complain or say. I will point out the imperfections because, let's be honest, a car that is over 25 years old will always have imperfections, no matter what, unless it was like freshly restored. And I can show you freshly restored cars that are in pretty great shape. But overall, in great shape. It's running and driving pretty nicely. I did get a chance to drive it. I'll get a chance to rip it down the street and back for you so you can kind of get an idea of what it is. It is sitting on the original tri-spokes. Let's take a look at these tires. I guess we'll start with that. Don't know if they have a month on this one, but overall they're still in good shape. No dry rot or anything to worry about. They still have some decent life left in them, both for that rear one, this front left one, in decent shape. I'll start to point out the imperfections so you can see them for yourself. Let's see, this one also in pretty great shape, and then we'll go back to this one. So we'll start off here in this driver's side corner. I can't really point out any imperfections right off the bat. It's only on the bumper itself, but I believe this is the incorrect bumper for it anyway. I believe we can get the matching one that's supposed to be the same color as the rear, but then you have this bumper. There's just a little bit of rust marks. That's just kind of I guess you could say a rust sweat. When it just has surface rust, like a little pinhole here, they kind of sweat the little rust out. The reason that this happens is because when they sit, whether it's at the auction, whether it's at the holding yards, wherever they ever may be, the surface rust just kind of builds up there, and then it just kind of sweats down, and you can kind of see some rusty, not rusty, but just like imperfections of rust, and that's what that is. Overall, same thing here. They're all kind of notorious for it. I had one. After you get it home, you get it polished, you get it buffed, you get it cleaned up, this will shine up pretty nicely. It's very dull right now, as you can kind of tell, but you can see when you kind of get it wet, it starts to bring the shine back. It does have these chrome caps to them. They're usually always 3M'd on, but behind that, it's a nice black. Door handle area is kind of dirty. They all suffer, unfortunately, from the same thing here. All these Hondas. I think Hondas in general, just the rubber just doesn't become as pliable as it used to. Let's open the gas cap area here so we kind of get an idea of it. So you can see, again, that rust sweat just from surface rust. I think the car was sitting before it was purchased, so you can kind of see the green there. Again, that'll come off. And then from sitting, you can tell that they sit over time. They just kind of accumulate just filth. Overall, in pretty great shape, though. Nothing to complain about on these panels other than just dull and just need a good buff. Obviously, you have like your wiper area, and the wiper itself just needs to get replaced. But this is normal. When they sit in the sun, it just hits them, and they kind of just, they lose their paint or their coating, and then they kind of just rust from the water just pulling on them. Same thing with the wiper, but the nice thing is the wiper will get replaced, so you won't see that. This can just get painted black. Looks like this was the original Honda dealership it came from. Again, it's just dirty from being here when people put their paws on it. It might have even been me that put my paw on there. But this is probably the worst of the spots that I see. It's not rotted, it's just kind of bubbly, as you can tell from the video. But again, once you buff this, once you clear this up, it'll kind of just show more of the imperfection, but you can touch that up with some touch-up paint. Nothing crazy as far as that goes. No rust holes that would worry me. We go on this side, nothing. Again, if we open the trunk area, this is just surface rust. Again, when they sit, this is just what happens. But no rot, just surface rust. You can get that all cleaned up with some iron remover. Most of the time that'll come off. You can see that there's a little bit here as well. That's all, again, normal stuff for a vehicle that's over 25 years old that sits and before it gets bought. Same thing, just caked up on the windows here. You know, most people are like, why would you say this about the cars? Well, listen, the reality is I like to show the truth and blunt reality, because this car is currently in Japan. The vendor, CarDealPage, or vendor has it here. They want to get it sold, and they just want this to move. So instead of trying to hide things so people don't see them, I like to show them to you. So if you want this car and you get this car, you're not going to get it at the point and be like, oh, this isn't what I wanted. And it's like, now at least I set the expectation straight. Hey, look, here's what the car is. Here's what's wrong with it. Here's what's great about it. And then you can pick and choose. Ultimately, you don't have to buy it, but you can ultimately get a really great deal on a Honda Z that, by the way, I believe is four-wheel drive. I'll confirm that. Most of the time, they'll have somewhere where it says all-wheel drive, but this is the turbo model, which is nice. They do come non-turbo. Again, paint is a little dull from sitting. You can see the scuff marks from people closing it, opening and closing it. This fender does look a little sus to me. It's actually the one that has the most shine. So I don't know if this was replaced, but I bet you once you buff it, it'll all kind of be the same. The worst of the spot is right here where I think it lost some of its clear coat. This is rusty right here. So this fender is probably the worst of it. You can kind of tell the different colors in there. So it might have not been the original fender. It might have been replaced with the original fender, but overall it's in great shape. Headlights just need a little bit of restoration, which is fine. That's easy. You can do that with a $20 kit from Walmart. Let's pop the hood. Let's take a look underneath. The Frunk is what they call it, because this is more like a rear mid-engine car. Where we come up over here, pop the hood so you can see underneath the hood / Frunk area, and let's see what it's all about. A lot of these are really notorious for rusting and kind of getting crusty on the hood. This one is not doing that, which is awesome. There is, again, surface rust sweat is what I call, and I'll show you what I mean by that. These hinges kind of get a little rusty, and as the water drips, they get down on here, but this is not rotted. And then you can see water pools there, so it gets rusty as well. Same thing here. They just naturally sweat. This with a taggy touch would look like $1 million in my opinion, but it's got the spare tire, which spare tire is dry rotting. That's pretty normal for a tire that never gets used and just gets stored away. It does have the storage compartment under here, which will clean up really nicely. And then underneath, ouch, ow, that one hurt. But underneath the storage compartment, you come over here and then you see your beautiful jack that's under there, the original jack that came with the vehicle, and then all the other spare tools that it came with as well. And then this box does pop off. Let's see if we are able to get it off, because it looks like it's already, yeah, undone. I might need two hands for this. Nope, I was able to do it from one-handed. But overall in great shape. Again, surface rust sweat, no rots to report. This is still in good shape because most of the time those also bust out. Looks like everything is there. Nothing too crazy. It does have the fog lights, which is really cool. Some of them did not come with fog lights, and I'll show you other features that some of them did not come with and others did come with, so you kind of get an idea of what this Z is all about. So we'll snap this closed here, show you more surface rust sweat is what I call. Here's the VIN number, so you can kind of get an idea. This is a PA1 is what they call it. And let's just, I guess, go to the interior aspect of it so you can get an idea of what the interior looks like. That's what the fog lights look like. I guess let's turn on the lights before I show you the interior so you can kind of get an idea of what the lights look like. We'll do the famous way before the fame touch where you turn on all the emergency hazards and the lights. Wow, the fog lights are actually yellow, which is really cool. I'm not sure on the other bumper if the fog lights are yellow or what color they are. But there, you kind of see the lights. They're all functioning and working the way that they should. You can't really see the brake light, but it is on. See that? Same thing with this one. The sun is shining on it, so you can't really see it all that well. This one on the corner light's working as well. Running lights, and the ones on the bumpers are working as well. All right, let's shut the lights off. Let's lower the AC in here, because it's pumping super cold AC, which I like. I wish I had a thermometer to show you what the AC is in comparison to the outside temperature. Wipers work, blinkers work, good. Let's see if the high beam works. I don't know where the high beam light is usually located on here. Anyways, this one has, let's turn on this AC. This one has 118,241 kilometers. I'll put it in the miles. It's pretty much all original, which I think is a great thing for somebody who wants a stock looking vehicle. The cool thing about the Z's is the light switches are here on the right hand side. You have the fog light button here, and then you have power mirrors, which, let's see, That one works. That one works as well. They're not power folding, they're manual folding. So that's that. You have a compartment area here, and then you have another compartment area here. It does come with an ETC. I don't know if that matters to some people in America. Some people love this, and they just love that. And so it's great that you have that already. You have your 12-volt outlet, your ashtray, which looks like comes with a spare button. It comes with an A button that goes on here. I'll leave that tucked away in there, so when you get it at the port, you still have it there. It has a stock single DIN radio, which I did confirm it does work. It does work, which is awesome. Let's see. That's a balance. So that does work, which is a great thing. The area cutout is for flare. These don't have a glove box. I think that's the biggest flaw about them, but this little compartment, it comes with all the original Honda Z stuff. Let's pull it out. Let's see what we got here. Small super mover, Honda Z. So that one's pretty nice. Then you still have that. You have this, which is the maintenance. Let's see if any maintenance was done on here. It looks like they did tear out a couple maintenance sheets from there, but then if you look, that's for the ETC reader. If you look even further, this is where you get to more maintenance that was done to the actual vehicle. I won't really go over it in this video. Let's see, they do have a sticker here. I'll show you that sticker in just a second. But you get your glove box area. You just kind of throw everything back in there, shut that, and then you just have a compartment there. It's at 118,241. If we come and zoom into this, it looks like it's good until 160, or maybe it was done at 160,500. So in theory, you probably have another 1,000 kilometers before the service needs to get done to it. I'll confirm when I'll open the trunk area, see if it's had the timing belt done. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they put the stickers here, sometimes they put them over there, but we'll confirm when we get to that. Underneath, if we remove the carpets, the original Honda Z carpets, which are really cool, you get to see that the original carpets underneath are still in great shape. These carpets just need to get cleaned up. Again, when they sit and people just come in and out of them, this is what naturally happens. You have your pull tab. This is probably the worst of it in the seat, which in my opinion, that can be fixed pretty easily. It is, the bolster here is a little low. Same thing with here, but the bolster's still nice here. You still have your headrest, which is awesome. You pull this back, you get to the back side area of the vehicle itself over here. It looks like this was probably, I don't know what that was from. Oh, that's what it's from the seatbelt area. So it looks like that was taken off. But if I get in here for reference, if you want to know how Honda Z, you might have been able to see my other Honda Z videos, but I am 6 feet tall. I have not the most room that you can have in a K-Kart, but you have decent room. And 60 feet, wow, I can't even talk. I'm 6 feet tall, 280 pounds. My belly still has space here. I'm kind of Carolina squatting back, not Carolina squatting, like Cali driving back all the way over here, which is really cool. So yeah, as we were going, I got interrupted. Yeah, so if you keep going here, I don't remember what the last thing I was talking about, but let's show you the carpet under here. That's in pretty good shape. Again, these carpets just need to get cleaned. But I think I was saying how far back I go. It's pretty comfortable for long trips. What you do have is a dead man's pedal there, and it is automatic, so that's really nice. It does happen to be a 4-speed automatic, so you have D4, D3, and D2. You don't have access to drop it down to 1 at any point. It is an AC model, so it does have AC. This is one of the things that I wanted to talk about of the features of this particular Z. It does come with the fog lights, but then on top of coming with the fog light, what some Z's did not come with was this auto function, which if you leave it on, it actually works wonders. It's pretty great. And you see it's speeding up all on its own. It's on auto because it senses the temperature outside is pretty warm. These up here in dirty condition, they just really need to be cleaned up. It does come with glass here, which needs to get cleaned up as well. Does not come with glass here. It may look like this is moldy, but this is just like dirty. The car does not smell moldy at all. I'll be the first to tell you, and I'll be very honest with you. Looks like you can put cards up here. Let's see, do these work? That one works, that one works, this one works. The mirror, they're all super tiny in cars in Japan, and everybody gets the wide mirrors, like the Broadway mirrors is what they call it. So it's just getting one of those. That can be done before I leave if you're interested in this car. E-brake, it's nice there. Does have recirculating or exhausting. I guess you could say. The door, the really cool thing about the Honda Zs, like the Nakeds, is that the door panels do match the color of the outside of the vehicle. So this is the original door, unless it was taken from another white Z. But that's in good shape. Speakers are in here, speakers in there. I don't know if it has speakers in the rear. Oh, no way. I actually think it does come with speakers in the rear, which would be kind of a rarity for the Zs. Let's take a look. It does come with a speaker in the rear, at least there and there as well. You can kind of see it back there. So that one's there. So that's very rare that the Z came with these speakers. This was probably an upper to middle tier package Z. Let's see, anything to show you as far as the interior goes? That's pretty much it for the front. I'll push this forward and then I'll go to the other side. I'll show you this aspect of it in a minute. One thing I did forget to show you, it does come with 2 cup holders here, which is really nice because you can use it for a water bottle. This functions here. It looks like it's missing the plastic here. That's pretty common because these plastics fall off very easily. I'm not sure why. Maybe when they take the seats out to service them. But you come back here. And the Z, I think this is where most people kind of get the wrong idea, that because it's a 2-door car with 4 seats that normal size humans can fit back here. 6 feet tall, not super big back here. The bench space is actually a ton. You have a ton of room on the bench itself to not encroach on somebody. And this cushion goes all the way here. Another cup holder here, another cup holder there. But the space isn't there. Can this person go up a little more? I'm sure they could. The nice part is that normally you could just push this and then get it up a little closer, and then that would give me some more room back here. But you sit so high up on these Zs, the head ends up pretty much here. So I don't suggest for a 6 foot tall adult to be back here. Can you be? Yes. But if you have other tall adults there, then it'll kind of get annoying. And kind of getting out of here's a bit of a pain. You can see I put my knee down. Let's show you under here. Carpet is nice and clean, except this area. Might have been that something spilled. But let's show you, let's see. Close that up. The seats back here, which are kind of a nice thing, is they do fully lay down. You can turn this into a full bed. Let's just show you that for, not the troll, before the video, so you get an idea of how that looks. If you move this forward and then click it back, take the headrest off, and then push this all the way back. Let's see. Then you'd be able to fully lay down. Not super comfortable. That's more of like a pillow aspect of it. And then you kind of go here. So I think if you're maybe 5 feet tall, you would fit back there. Let me show you so you get an idea. So I'm 6 feet tall, kind of have my legs bent. And again, this is more of like a pillow area. If you needed to, you know, you could rock it out with your feet up on the dash over here, and you can get away with sleeping like that at night. I think if you're some sort of 5 feet tall, this would be comfortable for you. If you needed to do it, I think you could do it. The most annoying one would probably be the driver's side, just because where the steering wheel is. But overall, great shape. Awesome for what the Japanese cars are kind of known to do with this kind of nutty thing, where it's like, hey, let's put our seats down and make it into a bed. So when you want to, you can sleep inside your car. Okay, so now if we go back, showed you that this lays down, but then it fully goes flat, fully flat. And then you pull on this tab up here, pull on this tab down here, I should say, move this out of the way. What it reveals is, nice and sound deadening, nice and foamy, is your engine bay area. That's where your quote-unquote hood would be. Normally there's a lot of rust on these. It does not look, oh look, a beetle of some sort died in here. Let's get that out of there. So it's pretty good shape. Let's get these undone so I can show you under here. I won't bore you. It's pretty straightforward. You just undo these 4 wing nuts and then you get to the engine bay. All right, so now once we undo that, we get to the engine. You can see that the engine's here. Down there's the intercooler. And over here is the turbo, the tiny little turbo. This is a 3-cylinder, 660cc turbocharged fuel-injected engine. I said that pretty fast. I'm pretty impressed with myself. Overall, great. It's just a little dirty under here, but again, nothing that a Teggy Touch can't fix. It doesn't look like there's been a timing belt done. That is a service that we can offer here in Japan. Obviously, there'll be an added cost to it, and it'll delay the vehicle getting shipped out. If you want the vehicle faster, you can have it done, or you can just have it shipped and then you do it back home. Actually, I lied. Timing belt sticker's right there. If I can differentiate the mileage that it says, but it's probably lower than 100,000 miles. But just kidding, the timing belt has been done. I can't see the date, but I'm confident enough to say that the car's running in pretty good shape, that it doesn't worry me, and it moves. The only thing that might need is a battery, which I can have the battery done before it leaves Japan for you, so you have a battery that's ready to go. So you kind of see it, you kind of get an idea. These are really cool. There are 2 available stateside that are not lifted but have bigger, nubbier tires. You can see an example of those that I made about Rob's cars, and you can definitely do that with you for your own if you really wanted to. But overall, great shape Z. Again, just little surface rust. These are actually all the pinch welds where they welded the points to, and you can see that once they just kind of sit on rust, they just sit there. It doesn't really go anywhere much more than that. Now we're doing pause. You take your engine cover, you put it back on, and you take this and you just throw it back over, and then Bob's your uncle. Just put those straps around there, and that's it. And then the seats kind of just fold down on itself. Take this, and then you would pull these tabs up here, fold it. These are actually to hold it in place.
What's cool about the Z is that it has 4 cup holders.
Yep.
4 speakers.
It actually, so Rob's didn't, but this one actually does come with 4 speakers, believe it or not.
It has it in the back, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it has at least a space for a rear speaker.
Well, it does for this one, believe it or not. So.
Rob's had what? Empty thing?
Yeah, it had empty things. So it depends on the model you got.
At least it has the holes for it, though.
Yeah, so like
some cars like the Regino doesn't even have the holes.
Right, so his green Z didn't have the automatic AC.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but this one has the automatic AC and the speaker. So.
And then you could Cali leave these seats like this 15 configurations.
I know, they really are.
Here, here, and then like all the way up.
And then I showed him that you can actually fully lay him down and sleep in the car, which is pretty baller in my opinion. So it's really cool. Overall, great Z. If you're interested, I'll put a price here at some point in this video. I'll let you know what it is. Now, you can do it one of 2 ways. You could do it with CarDealPage's price, or you could do it with my price. With my price, what it'll do is basically clear it from the port for you so that it's ready to be picked up at your convenience. So it can be shipped to any of the ports in basically America. So whether it's on the West Coast, the down south like Jacksonville or Texas, or on the East Coast in general. Texas tends to be a little bit more expensive. The East Coast and the West Coast tend to be probably around the same price. So you can find this on CarDealPage's website. If you want it, it's there. If you want it through me, basically cleared from the port, so you just go there and pick it up. It all comes under your name. I can give you a price for that. I'll give you CarDealPage's price and then my price. What's good about this is that if you're worried about that 25% tariff that everybody's worried about, because that happened yesterday before I made this video, you don't have to really worry about it all that much more, because now you'll have a car that's to your door at a specific price, which is really nice. Now that does get dicey for me, but that's the risk that I'm willing to take to be able to facilitate the sale for this. And if it's going to New York, we could also talk about having the Teggy Touch be done. I know that some people really are keen to that they want the Teggy Touch on their vehicles because they see our videos, they see what Teggy's all about, and they really want that done. That is a possibility. Obviously, there's an added price to that. If you want it titled and registered under your name in Virginia, I offer that. The titling service is $500 for a tag and a title, or $450 for just the title itself. But either way, if you have any questions, just reach out. My phone number is 203-940-1259. Let's get this car sold. Let's get this car on a ship. Let's bring it home to somebody in America, because overall, I like it. It's a great car. There's another Z available. I don't know if I'll get to make a video of it before this one or after this one, but I will try and make one. But this one is available. Again, I'll put the price here so you see it, both the Mendy price and the CarDealPage price, so you get an idea of what it'll cost you to go to the port versus if you have to take care of it at the port. Either way, thanks. I was about to end the video without driving the vehicle, and I think that's probably what the most important part is of this video. You see it physically driving. Now, I won't take it 100 miles per hour on the highway because I don't have that option here. I only have a landing strip to be able to do what I need to do here, but we'll back it up. We'll kind of get some speed for you so you kind of get an idea. It's backing up. It has a backup beeper, which is a really nice feature the Japanese cars normally tend to offer, so you know you're in reverse and you don't just hit the gas. I wish America would lock in and do that same thing other than a camera nowadays, but we're here. This is in drive. They never show up. I don't understand that. I don't know why they never show up. So getting up and going. Turbo's kicking in. Wow, turbo spooled. So this thing hauls. I am genuinely surprised when the turbo just spooled on what this thing was doing. And it's just wow. I mean, I've driven Robs, and Robs are really cool. Maybe they're a little bit more heavier, and that's why they don't spool the way that this one just spooled. But this one, legit. Okay, let's see it. Wow. This thing hauls. This thing is... I was genuinely surprised just now by what the ability of this car. And I'm not saying this just for the video, trust me. Go watch my other videos of the other Zs that I've shown. But this one, even my other Z that I had, the white one that I traded for one of my Actis, like, or for one of the Actis that I ended up having, like, holy guacamole. This is insane, the ability of what this car just did. What it just did to spool up and freaking get going. Holy cow. Genuinely surprised. That turbo kicks in and it just goes. It hauls. But yeah, again, reach out if you're interested. Let's make this deal happen. Let's get you a really cool Honda Z. Until next video.